Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Artists of Color. I am your host, Elaine Hall-Corbin. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. We're going to have a great show. My shows are always great, but, every time I get my new guests, they're great because they're folks I know, and they're folks in the community, and they always do great work. So today, I'm going to introduce an amazing poet. He actually is the Roxbury poet, Mr. Larry Duce Cobb. Hi, Larry.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, actually, I'm much better now that I'm here with you.
Oh, what? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Larry, I've known you a minute.
Yeah.
But I learned little things new about you that I didn't know before. Like where you're from. How long were you in Covington, Georgia before you came to Boston?
I think, let's see, 5, 6 years old, and then
You were young.
Then we got out of there.
Then you got out.
We got out of there.
And when you came to Boston, what part of Boston were you?
First, we were in the South End.
Oh, sounds like my family.
On Charlotte Avenue.
Okay.
And then we had an aunt that lived in West Newton, and we moved to West Newton.
You lived in West Newton?
Yeah, we were upscale.
Because see, I didn't know they had folks out there.
No, I was on the, funny you mentioned that because when I was a fundraiser, I was talking to somebody on the phone and they says, I'm calling West Newton. I said, I used to live in West Newton. And they said, oh, there used to be a settlement there. I said, a settlement? It was just a place where we lived. We lived there for a couple of years and then we moved out and came back to the South End.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because the Mass Pike, they came in with eminent domain.
Yes.
Right down Washington Street and West Newton and just put the Mass Pike there and told everybody they had to keep it moving.
Really?
Yes. Yes, and
Wow.
that's where I saw my first goldfish at. Because we had a brook next to the house.
A brook?
A brook that went
Oh,
through. It had
shoot.
goldfish in there.
Do you by any chance remember what street you lived on in West Newton?
Oh, I wish I could say it. But I can find out for the next show.
Okay, we can find out for the next show. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because my grandmother, when I was a child, my grandmother worked in West Newton.
Okay.
And in the summertime and during long vacations, school vacations, I used to go to work with her. So I used to take the buses out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take the trolley or did you take
The trolley.
The trolley.
Took the trolley.
And where did you get off at Newton Center?
I think it was Newton Center.
Newton Center, okay.
Yeah, and then they had buses there
Right.
that took us to where we were going
Right.
to work. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right along Washington Street. And when you go through there now, you can hit Washington Street, and then right next to Washington Street, there's the Mass Pike.
Right. That's right. Right there.
Yep. That's where we used to stay before we got here.
Wow.
And then we just started, migrating further up to actually to Mattapan then.
You hit Mattapan.
We hit Mattapan.
So did you stay and did your family stay in Mattapan?
Yes.
Or did they move again?
Nope.
No,
What happened was-
nomads?
Nope. What happened was the same way that your aunt took you to work,
Yeah.
my mother and father did the same thing.
There you go.
He was a gardener. My father was a gardener and a
Oh.
brick mason.
Really?
And my mother
must have
was
been amazing.
what they call them. They called them kitchen mechanics at the time, way back.
Kitchen mechanics?
Yeah, kitchen
I
mechanics.
never heard that.
Like, where they just come in, clean the house, do that kind of thing. And one day,
My grandmother was a domestic worker.
well, they call it the same
She wasn't
thing.
no kitchen mechanic.
It's the same thing. So my mother went to work one day after some years working for this lady. Mm-hmm. And then the lady told her, have a seat. And she said, what can I do for you?
Whoa.
She said, the house is already clean. So what can I do for you?
There you go.
And my mother thought for a minute. She thought for another minute. And then she came with, I'd like a house for my kids to be raised in. The lady told her, work is done. You go find the house, get the address, and get the phone number and bring it back to me. And in 2 weeks, we was in that house.
In West Newton?
No, in
Mattapan?
In Mattapan.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's a real story.
I believe you.
That's a real story.
I believe you.
And she just said, bring the number and the address. And her lawyer, the lady's lawyers just took it right from there and did the thing.
That's
Did the thing.
amazing. What year was that?
1967.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's an amazing story. I assume with that amazing story that you have at some point in time written a poem about that story, about that piece in your life.
That's going to be
probably book number 5.
That's going to be in probably book number 6 because I'm ready to do like an autobiography. But
Really?
the thing is, what I realize is that these books, I mean, I got some of the story in it already.
See, in every one of those pieces.
Every one of those, there's select ones that hit the nail right on the head.
Well, we're going to hit some of the nails on the head.
Okay. Well, I'm
While we're
open for
doing
that.
this,
I'm
we're
open for
going
that.
to be
I'm open for
talking about, and you're going to read some of your amazing poetry, and we're going to talk about how it came to be and why you happened to written that particular poem.
Okay.
You know, how long have you been a poet, Larry?
Writing it since 1993.
Wow.
And I was at the university, the street university.
Oh yeah, I know about those.
And I used to read Maya Angelou,
Yes.
James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, and anybody's stuff that I could find in the library.
Library, there you go.
And I would write their stuff down, and then I would send it to my mother because I didn't want to send the heartbreaking story about, I'm here, I can't get home.
Oh my
all that.
goodness,
Then,
you did.
I need money,
Oh,
I didn't do that.
So you took their pieces and you sent them to your mother.
In the beginning.
Oh, okay. I bet you she figured it out.
She asked me when I did get home, she said, did you write all that yourself? And I told her, in the beginning, no. But halfway through, I started writing, because I figured out I didn't need somebody else to tell me what I need to say to my mother.
Your mother, there you go.
Then I started putting it down, and it just started to flow. I mean,
Flow
like,
that way, and it's
it was
been
like,
flowing ever since.
it was like a bubbling brook. Like,
Okay.
it wasn't like an ocean of just coming,
It just
kept coming out.
flowed
kept
and
coming out,
flowed. There you go.
And then this was when she asked me what I write in most of the books is, she said to me, you wrote those? I said, yes. She said, well, you know what? You should write a book.
So that's how you got started.
And there's a book.
That's the first book?
That's the very first book.
Whoa, no sign of a saint.
The very first book. And I just kept
writing.
kept writing.
So now we've got 4 books.
And I got the other one
And we're
already.
pushing for
it's
5 and 6.
Yeah, already. And to be honest with you, if I were to stack what nobody has seen,
Yes.
it would probably reach definitely top of that camera.
Oh wow.
At the last count, that was 10 years ago. I had not exaggerating and not saying them all that, but I had 10,000 pieces of paper with words on
I
it.
believe it.
No, it's a fact.
I'm
just waiting.
I'm not. Hey.
What I'm waiting for somebody, to say, we need 100 books with 200 pages
There you go.
on each thing, and then all I would say to them was, cut the check. I'll be right back.
Cut the check. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. And
Why?
then
Because do you actually have all of this on paper?
I have them stacked in envelopes, the manila envelopes.
Yes.
And I got so creative that I started putting the dates on, like
That's
the month,
right.
the
That's
month,
the month.
the month of
And the
May
year?
of, say, 2000 and no, not 2000, 1994.
Okay.
There's a stack going through the whole year.
Wow.
Each month.
Some
months is thin, but most months is like this. So.
Okay, Larry.
No, listen, I'm
No,
not
I
bragging.
mean,
That's just
we should have some more books.
Well, listen, if
Four's not enough. We need more.
if I could print them out I would, but I'm going to do it the way I do it.
Well, that's good. Are you self-publishing, or do you
Yes.
have a publishing? You're self-publishing.
Self-publishing because,
It's easiest.
well, it's easier because publishing companies have committees.
Right. Yes, they do.
You submit your stuff.
And they decide
Then-
whether they
then
want to.
Is it worthy for anyone to read?
Right.
And
Exactly.
People put their heart and soul into the writing,
course
and
they
to
do.
have
And
a
then
committee take their thing
And go
then,
through it and
then
say,
set it over there and let it just collect dust.
oh, I agree. I agree.
So I learned that it's better to just go ahead on and just jump out there on an act of faith and see what you can do.
This is your first book here,
Mm-hmm.
No Sign of a Saint. How long did it take before the book came out after you
Okay.
began publishing?
Well, there's steps.
I know there is.
First step is you have to put it on computer.
Oh,
Once you get it on computer,
okay.
then you go from there to putting together $50-something,
Oh, okay.
and that's
Okay.
for the Library of Congress.
Oh, so you have to go through the Library of Congress.
If you want to protect your stuff.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay, so one piece of paper to submit it to the Library of Congress will cost you $50. But if you send
Uh-huh.
10,000,
That's
same thing.
more.
Same, the same.
So the process goes that
Yeah,
way.
and then you send it to the self-publishers.
Who are the self-publishers?
You want me to call names? Our names?
No. I never knew about there being self-publishers. I didn't realize that I guess there's like a self-publishing company?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I did not know.
Okay, and I've used 2 of them.
Okay.
And you can go on your phone right there and just say self-publishing, and their names will come right up.
Okay, didn't realize that.
And then you just call them and make contact.
Okay.
You make contact, ask a few questions, and
And it's all done.
then, like I say, you got it on the computer, you can just send it to the
Send it
Library of
directly
Congress. And then once you send it to the Library of Congress, then they send you, once they receive it,
Okay.
you're copywritten.
Okay.
As soon as the mail gets to them,
You're
you're
copywritten.
copywritten.
That's right.
Then you can send it to the publisher.
To the publisher.
And then you go through the process.
Okay. I would like for you to do a short reading for us. And oh yeah, that's right. You don't need the book. I forgot.
Wait a minute. Sometimes I might. That's why I brought my glasses, because I get excited.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Now, this one I did for young people,
okay.
and it's called Sinister Scheme.
Oh, interesting. I bet this is one I've never heard.
Sinister scheme, caught up and lost within a bad dream, deceit's gotten ice cold and very mean, has taken and destroyed youth of America's dreams. Straight from the skillet to play within the fire, the young say future's a damn liar, because gun smoke, tossing coke, rolling dope, have them living at the end of the rope, standing at the tree of life, hanging with no hope. Broken spirits, no faith, living in quicksand up the waist, no goals, no thoughts of growing old, bloodbath, yellow tape, any day surrounds a lost soul. See the stories the front page told. Losing fight with powerful greed, ghetto sidewalks continue to bleed. Soil of life is taking another seed. Government still down with low down deed. They're the blind are leading the blind, no future in doing more time. Government confuses the young minds, they make believe to the other you can't be kind. Hear the spoken word, who can say what you heard? Lost within a bad dream is in a sinister scheme.
Wow. Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness. Now, what made you write that? Something had to have happened or came to you that made you write that particular piece.
Riding the train and listening to the news and reading the Metro.
Oh yes, the Metro.
The Metro. And what happens is you read it, I was reading it going back and forth to work and this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, you keep seeing something and it just left an impression on you. And that was the impression that I figured was a sinister scheme.
Ah, I understand that. I hear that.
Thank you.
I definitely hear that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what? I'm actually going to ask you to do another one.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Well, this is my all-time favorite.
Do your all-time favorite.
Okay. Signs of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Signs of the times. See, the signs quite align where it was once kind, now lives unemployment, homelessness, and one more soup line. The rich get richer, leaving behind poor bills, more digs deeper the ditch. Here's the electric chair. Some say hit the switch because living in America today is an itch. Hunger and pain locks minds in a constant strain. Good people and good sense have a way of going down the drain. To face it, eyeball to eyeball, living beyond it, that's gain. Hope's not seen on the block because confusion and illusion stop the youth on the spot. Curtis Mayfield said it all, future shock. Said dreams come to be broken. God's the only repair shop open. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Politicians keep saying, hold on, be strong, this stuff won't last long. Sam Cooke, what more be taken after what's been took? Stop, listen, and look, said change has got to come. Can't you see what's being done from midnight to the morning sun? What's the problem? Is it genocide? Oh my God, another suicide. Solution is not buck wild homicide. Why cry, try, hear the future cry? But betterment always try, because if you give up, despair does another drive-by. Quite a line, see the signs of the times. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. Were you riding the train when you thought that one up?
I don't know. No, I'll tell you that. That's a good story.
Yes, tell me.
I'm at work, and we're working like in cubicles next to each other. So I tell the kid next to me, I says, well, not a kid, he's a grown man. I said, Jamal, give me a title or give me a word. And he said, signs. I said, okay. So I'm sitting over my cubicle taking phone calls because I was a fundraiser.
Taking phone calls and writing at the same time.
Yes, getting contributions. So, and I'm like over there and I'm doing my thing and making my phone calls and stuff. And in 7 minutes, I handed him a piece of paper. And he looked at it, he read it. And he said, when did you do this? You did this at home? I said, no, I just did it over here, right here.
Right here.
You told me to put signs. I just changed from signs to signs at a time. And this is what I got. So they gave it back to me. I touched it up, and in 10 minutes it was complete. Then I handed it to him, said, now it's done. And that what I just did was what you heard. Okay.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
You know, you just, when, you know, like events will lead you to write.
Yes, they will. I learned that from what I do. Mm-hmm. Every time I do a show or every time I do a story, I go, because you know I'm all over the place.
Yes.
And every time I do a program, it's always something in it, in that particular program, whether it's stage or film or whatever, and it always leaves me, this is the piece I'm going to use, or this is that particular portion of that piece that I'm going to use, and that's how I write.
But that's a good thing.
That's the voice.
Oh, question. Do you ever have writer's block?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to tell me something about writer's block?
And
Please
I really
do.
shouldn't be giving out this key secret, but only way I can keep it, I got to give it away.
Okay.
Writer's block stops when you do 5 things, when you realize 5 things.
Which is?
You got sight.
Yes.
Smell.
Right.
Taste. You hear. And you touch.
Those are the 5 senses.
You never, whenever you use those 5, you'll never have writer's block. Never.
Okay.
Ever, never. That's the last time I'll ever hear you talk about writer's block.
So that's what it is. And so you don't, there really is no writer's block.
No, there's no writer's block.
It's the 5 senses that
somebody gave it to me, so I gave it to you.
Pass it along.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it really, really works. The camera folks can use it. You can use it. And I'm going to use it again and again.
I'm going to use it again because I got like 3 articles to write.
Because all you got to do is just take a look around.
Okay. Wow.
You can smell the chicken being cooked in the kitchen.
As long as you're not the one cooking it and trying to write it.
No. But,
As
you know,
long as you're not the
yeah,
one cooking it.
But no, that's the key. And
That's the key to writer's block.
I learned that. I don't know where I picked it up at, but I know
I was going to say,
somewhere I learned
yeah,
it along
someone
the way.
told you.
And they gave it to me.
There you go. They gave it to you. Now you
And
just
I
gave it to me.
I really do believe it was, do you remember the Ronnie Ingraham Choir?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay. Well, they had a choir and at the university. He was there, and he was just out of place. But
he was there.
he was there. And
Ronnie Ingraham.
he told me, he used to read all my stuff that I would write.
Oh.
I mean, it was like when I came in there, because I was just trying to give him some uplift, like, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
And then he said, well, okay, he started reading my stuff. Then one day, after reading it for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then he told me who he really was. That he had a choir. It was a Ronnie Ingraham choir. And that name rings a bell because I know you done heard it somewhere.
Yeah, I have heard it somewhere.
And they had been around the world a couple of times with his choir. And then he shows me that, goes in his locker and shows me, give me some, credentials on who he was. And I was like, I was impressed. And he just said, keep writing. And
There
I
you
just kept
go.
writing. And that's
So
how.
how long have you been writing?
I don't know. My math is like.
I get a better one.
Okay. From 93 to now.
Okay.
What is
That
that?
answers that question.
What is that?
Yeah, please. It's over 20 years, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this for a while.
Yes, you have.
And won up a few awards too. I didn't tell you.
No, I found out about them. Right, John?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But tell us about your awards. How did you get to be the Roxbury poet? That's my question.
I don't know. That was the name. That was the name somewhere along the line that I just picked up. It was just
really?
I just picked it
So
up.
that's not a name that was given to you by some great big
No, it was just
organization or the city?
No, it was some other poet. And I think it might have been a rapper. That was, because the rappers, they come up with all kinds of.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, you're a poet. You should be,
You should
you're a
be
Roxbury poet.
Dude, you should be the Roxbury
Okay, so that's it. That's how it came about.
Oh, my God.
And
You talked about universities.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about universities. Are we talking about the University of Life, or are we talking about buildings?
University of Life would be more suitable.
Okay.
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 And it comes down on that page where it's the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, yes, I've heard that one.
Okay. And when you think you have all the answers,
There's a new one coming.
and there's something else coming down the
That's
pipe.
right.
And then you learn. If you don't learn, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to, through them experiences. If I hadn't experienced that, I would have never been a writer.
I understand. So your work is from your experiences.
Yes.
All of your writings are from your experiences.
Yes. I don't think I could do it if I didn't experience this stuff. I couldn't tell it
Couldn't
like
write
it
it
is.
not the way it is.
I couldn't make nobody feel nothing.
No.
I couldn't induce thought
Thank you.
if I hadn't experienced it.
I hear.
That's where I'm at with that.
Do you still have family here? Better yet, are you an only child? That's my first one.
No, I got 2 older brothers and a younger sister.
Really?
Yeah, they're pains in the behind, but
Now.
But I love them. You know what I mean?
There you go,
Like
you
you said
gotta love
about earlier in this very beginning, no matter what.
That's right. Don't I
If
know?
if they call me, I'm there, and if I
course.
call them, they're there.
They're
So
there.
it's no,
There you go. There you go.
So we still hanging in there.
Do you take your poetry around the country? Have you done that?
Well, actually, I haven't took it outside of Massachusetts,
Really?
but I am international because it's on Barnes and Nobles. The books are on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon,
Right.
and a host of other sites that do this.
Nice.
Do the thing.
Okay.
So it's and I didn't know it until Roscoe Wedgeworth, one of the ambitions.
Okay. Yeah.
He told me when they was down at
I know that name.
the T-shirt store, hot dog stand. He said, "You're international," and I'm like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Tell me that one.
And I didn't really pay attention to it. And then I'm playing chess on the computer, and you play around the world.
Yes.
And I'm playing some guy, and he's from. I could see his flag, but I didn't know where he was
Was
at. Then he asked a question. He asked me, "Are you a writer?"
Oh,
And I wasn't going to answer at first, and then I said, "Wait a minute, why shouldn't I answer?"
right. He's
I
asking
said,
you, are you
"Yes,
a
I
writer?
am." And I said, "How did you know?" He said, "I seen your book on Amazon."
See?
And then I looked at his flag to find out where he was from, and then underneath it, the name of where he was at.
At?
He's in Warsaw, Poland.
Whoa.
I was like, really? And then I had to go back to Roscoe and said, "I guess I am
Yeah,
Roscoe."
you are definitely an international writer.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was impressed. I was like, whoa.
See?
I mean,
That's what happens. I believe that that's what happens when one begins to write. And especially you're writing and you self-publish.
yes.
Because you don't have to go through all that rigmarole.
Nope.
Like you said, you don't have to listen to a committee who's going to say, well, maybe not. We'll put it to the side and who knows when. You know?
And because now, I was told by someone that makes movies, here in Boston,
Oh, okay, good.
that,
Then you need to do a film.
no, that one there, the name,
this
just the
one.
name of that, he could do a movie.
A movie. And did you realize that because you're copywritten,
Oh, he knows.
they have all that stuff?
He knows. He's the first one that gave me a movie role.
You've been in the movies?
Oh, come on. I need to tell the story.
Please tell this story. This man has been in the movies. Tell
Okay.
me.
I was invited to a rehearsal on Blue Ave at Lawrence Ave, Blue Hill. Gets there, and there's a guy and his wife. I don't know if they just
Met him.
they just wanted some poets. So there was two of us, and I guess nobody else showed up. It was a rainy day. It was like rainy day, and only two people. Oh, the two of us showed up. Him and his wife showed up, and so we performed, and him and the wife watched, and then they came to their decision. They said, "Well, we can use just one of you," and I just happened to get
You happen
lucky.
to be the one they use.
Yeah, and it was in. The movie's called Hood Life.
Really?
There's one called Hood Life, and there's another one.
I'll tell you what I thought of after you figure it out.
I can't think of the dang name. I'll think of it on the
It
next
wasn't
show.
it wasn't Blue Hill Avenue, was
No,
it?
it wasn't Blue Hill.
Because
no.
that's the only one that I've seen that supposedly has pieces of the community in it up in that area.
No, there's another one. Hood Life is one, and that's right on Blue Ave.
Yeah.
A couple of young kids was trying to do their thing, and I was the poet on the corner telling them, take a look at what you're doing and
What
try
you're
to
doing
try to go this way
Yeah,
instead
you're
of
trying to
going that
move
way.
'em.
Yeah, and I can't think of it. It's been so long since I had it. I know I got it in my closet, not the closet. I got it on the shelf.
Okay.
But his name is Todd Walker. He's a filmmaker, and he's a pretty good one.
Really, Todd Walker. Haven't heard that name before.
You have it?
No, I haven't.
Look him up.
I'm
Todd Walker, or
going to
Anthony
now.
Anthony Walker. I think that's his first name, but Todd is the middle name, I think. But he's an extraordinary filmmaker.
Really?
So I put my first show there. And then I got my next crack was at my friends down Dudley. I'm coming off work.
You and the, you
They
and your
tell me
folks
they
at Dudley.
said they're making a film right in Dudley. They said, go over there, take that poetry over there and see if you can get something in the movie.
Really?
So I go over there and I said, who's running things? They said, this gentleman here. I said, do you have any room for a poet in this movie? And he said, no, the script has already been written. So I had the CD with 17 tracks on it.
Oh, shoot.
I said, well, seeing that I can't get in the movie, can you support a starving artist?
There you go.
And he said, how much for the CD? I said, $20. You know who I was talking to, right? No. I was talking to Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yeah, he got that kind of paper.
Oh, Lord.
He got that kind of paper, so he bought the CD. And in the course of being around Dudley, when they were filming, they can shoot.
That wasn't downtown, was it?
No, that was Gone Baby Gone.
Oh, Gone Baby Gone.
And if you ever watch it early in the movie,
watch it.
you'll see a guy eating an ice cream
Oh, I gotta watch it now.
coming out of the I think it was like a chicken joint. I think it was a chicken joint then, right next to Dunkin' Donuts. And
Okay.
I come out of there and I'm eating an ice cream.
Yes, that was that chicken place.
I'm eating an ice cream.
I gotta watch
So I
it
got like,
now, 'cause I gotta
30
look for
seconds.
you.
30 seconds of being in the movie.
Oh, hey.
That was kind of cool.
Wow. Did you write a poem about that?
Not yet. Not yet.
But I'm sure it's coming.
Oh no, there's no doubt about it. But like I say, the opportunities when they knock, I just step in, and them guys just told me to go over there and see them
See.
because they're making a movie in the neighborhood. So okay, so I just went over there and gave my card, and told them to see you.
See you.
If I ever see him again, I'll approach him just like that.
Like just the way you did that. Because you never know.
Never know. Never know.
Give us another one.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this one.
Yeah. We got a couple of minutes. Find us a short one.
A short one, okay. All right. This one's called Was Pleased. Since you came into our lives, our nights and days ain't the same. Heaven is where you used to live, becoming a gift to us only God can give. Sending you to earth like autumn leaves floating on a cool, cool breeze. I've come to believe with the makings of Miss Elaine, God himself was pleased. Thank you.
You just made that up.
It's in the book.
Wait a minute. The reason I'm saying that is because on my Messenger, you've done a couple of pieces on Messenger, and I've gotten them.
Okay.
And that sounded similar.
It's in the book.
It's really in the book. Oh dear.
It's in the book.
All right, it's in the book.
It's in the book. Only thing that's not in there is your name.
It's my name. Thank you very much. I don't think I can do that.
You thought I wasn't ready. I know. That's what it was. You thought I wasn't ready.
Oh, well, in I'm going to say about 30 seconds, we're going to go on a break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back.
Okay.
And we're going to talk more because I know there's stuff there that I need to get out about Mr. Cobb.
Well, that's a definite.
And we need to talk about
getting out.
More about your work and what you plan.
Well,
we need to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Please do.
Oh,
and
yes.
You have a lot.
Yes.
You have a big audience. How many people watch this show?
I have no idea, but one day I'm going to find out.
I think you should do that.
I do. I need to find that out.
Yeah. Because you reach a lot of people.
Well, we're going to go on a break, and then we're going to come back and find out how many people I reach. You've been with me, Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and this is Artists of Color. We'll be back. We're taking a break, a minute, and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome to Artists of Color. You're back with us again, and I am Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and today my guest is the Roxbury poet, Mr. Larry Duce Cobb. Hey, Larry, we've been having a great conversation,
Well, thank you.
I am very happy we've been having a great conversation.
Well,
That's
what we're here for.
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about you and how you write and your poetry and what poetry, what it means to you and how it comes from you. And like you said, it flows like a brook.
That's it.
That's
it. And it's nothing that I have to work on to do.
No, it's part of you.
And it's like, and the funny thing about this writing too, I need to say this. I cannot write on lined paper.
You can't.
Look.
Really?
I can't.
Tell me about lined paper.
If I have lined paper in front of me.
You can't write.
It's not the same.
Really? So you just write on blank paper that has no lines on it and you just write?
I just write. And if you ever see me write, you would think that there was lines on the paper.
Oh, it's that, excuse me, that perfect, huh?
No, that's how it comes out. It just comes out that way.
That way. That's interesting.
I can't do it. If you put lined paper in front of me, I'll be like.
Like, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it on this.
Just turn a piece of paper over that's blank.
And you just write.
And I can do it.
Wow, that's amazing. I've never heard anybody say that they couldn't write on lined paper.
That's real. That's real.
That is unbelievable.
I don't
How
know.
long have you known that you couldn't do that?
Actually, probably in the last 20 years or so, I don't know. It's like every time I go to try to write on some lined paper, it's like it doesn't happen.
Right. Wow.
But I get a blank piece of paper, blank piece of white paper, and I can just go and look like
There's lines
like
there.
there's lines on it.
That's interesting. That's a gift.
No, that's being an
It's a-
artist is being weird.
We all know that artists are strange people.
Yes, yes.
They do strange things in their lives.
Yes.
And they're not like the rest of us. We know that.
No, no,
But that's one I'd never heard of.
no. That's the truth. That's the truth. I've tried it and it just does not work.
Just doesn't work for you.
Don't work.
Tell me about the names of your books. Let's talk about them. What is this, from then to now? Mm-hmm. Where did you acquire that particular?
It was something that I
Name.
wrote. It was something that I wrote, and in the writing, that was there.
Oh.
That was there.
Uh-huh.
And then I just said one day, maybe I'll use that as a title, and that's what I did.
Okay.
I used it for a title, and every now and then I'll read something of my stuff, see my stuff in one of these books, and then I'll see that there, and I'll be like, oh, that's where it came from. And then another thing I do, I put the date on everything that I write.
Good.
So
That's
if
a
you-
good thing.
So if you open that book and you can open it and be like, okay, in 2000, this is when that was written.
Under the Shadow of His Wings. Tell me about Under the Shadow of
That's-
His Wings.
That's when you find yourself getting closer to God, and you know that there's somebody else bigger than you.
Amen
And
to
if
that.
it wasn't for them, 9 times out of 10, the lifestyle that I lived, I wouldn't be here. Okay?
What is life? What was life before writing?
Well, I need to tell you the truth to shame the devil.
Well, we don't want to shame the devil.
No,
Well,
no,
you can tell the
No.
truth.
In this life, at the time that I was growing up in the city of Boston, it was they call it now an epidemic.
Yeah, oh, please.
But it was an epidemic when I was growing up, and that was using drugs.
Okay. Yeah,
And through that,
I remember that. Those times.
through that, I survived that experience, thank God. Mm-hmm. And I'm still
I
here.
hear you. And I know you've written a lot about that time in your life.
Absolutely. I got one right on the top of my head right now.
Okay, let's do the one on the top of your head right now.
Okay. And this pertains to exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
And it's called That I Once Did Wrong.
Okay.
Went to the drugs I turned on. I never imagined it would last this long. It went from a why don't you try to now where I send out an outward cry. I robbed Peter to pay Paul just for the drugs, and that's all. While hustling for the money, I didn't see the world fun nor funny. Through rain, hail, sleet, and snow, the drugs would say, you know it's time to go. Though I wanted to recover, my weakness wouldn't allow me, I've come to discover. My stop started with jail when the bondsman and the judge wouldn't grant me bail. This is the history to each and all to have a drug history. It's time to find that life is truly there, and it all starts here. Strength is in numbers. Wisdom comes when you and I become one of the numbers. That I once did wrong. History has shown me the places I need not be. That's something I won't repeat because there's something better that I seek. Those were the unproductive years that I still now wipe away the tears for not reaching for my peak or spending too much time in the streets as I chased the infamous vanishing dream. Looking back, how could I have treated myself that mean? Yes, like the old folks would say, you live and you learn. If you can manage to survive, surely you can earn from what you learn. Yes, very well, I was taught this lesson with the help of God and all of his timely blessings. to the point I can carry on because he's bestowed upon me a will to be strong from all the things that I once did wrong. Thank you.
Okay. That was life.
Thank you.
That was life. I can see it. I can just see it going around,
Good.
flowing past.
Good.
I can see it,
Good.
you know.
Good.
I can see it.
It makes it, puts a tear in that corner of the eye.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I got about 20 years clean
Bless you.
in September.
That's blessed.
In September,
That's
it'll be
all right.
20, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay. Let's talk about this book here.
Okay.
Explain that book.
Okay. It's real short, real simple. Remember when you was a child and you fell along the way and then your mother picked you up?
Yeah,
and then
yes.
What did she do?
Kissed it away.
And you was off and running.
Yes.
That's why I wrote this. That's why I wrote this. And
Because Mom kissed it away.
Mom kissed it away.
Mm-hmm. Even in the bad times.
Even in the bad times. And,
Mothers do that a lot.
but no, the mothers are powerful. I mean, it's the most powerful person on the planet.
Mothers do that.
And like I say, I love mine, you know.
I hear that.
I'd
Me
trade
too.
a few of these jokers that I know in for her if I could.
I hear that.
But yes, that's why I wrote that. That's why I wrote the poem on this one, Kissed It Away.
And now you're going to tell us, nope, you know it by heart.
Well,
I know
no,
that.
I don't know. I don't know this one by heart.
Well, you're going to have to read, nope, here come the glasses,
I got
y'all.
I got the glasses.
He's got the
Got the
glasses.
glasses so I can see.
Oh, please read that.
Okay, and this one's called Kissed It Away. Kissed it away, falling down tear that was supposed to stay. Love kissed it away. It's soothing to the soul, knowing and understanding love's more precious than gold when truth of love is told. Memory serves well when Mama would show it when we fell along the way. Her love kissed it away.
You know, I don't want, that's amazing. I like that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's precious.
Thank you.
That is so precious.
Thank you.
It really is. Don't cry.
No, I hold myself together.
I would like, when we've got a little bit of time, I would like for you to do a reading, you know, from each one of these.
Okay. Okay.
So now that we started with Kissed It Away,
Okay. Let's see.
I loved,
Let me get
I mean, because I know
my glasses.
I know about us artists. We don't remember what we put in what book
Listen,
or whatever.
When you write as much as I've written, I'll never in the wildest imagination ever think that I could remember it all.
That's right.
If I could, trust me, I would do that.
I'm sure.
Okay, now, the best way to do this is put your finger right there.
That's what they tell.
And, okay. All right, this one here, Dreams March On. Welcome, Boston, to all others. We're God's blessings to our mothers. Some in this room were once or twice a slave. I thank God I'm not in a grave, and courage to be brave. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine this, being with beautiful people practicing God's promise. Through God's mercy, we're traveling on a road well paved. Long before you and I, people as us have been saved. With all the sacrifices and suffering, still living out the dream. Getting to Martin's birthday, Martin, I can see what you mean. Hearts, minds, and souls are threads intertwining unity. Though black, white, yellow, red, we're sharing love. That's spirituality. As you very well know, Dr. King traveled and journeyed to the mountaintop, and coming down with a new joy in his heart, knowing he wouldn't be here with us too long. Though Martin's not here, the dream marches on.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That is beautiful.
So
That is amazing.
you just have to just go in and just
stick your finger in there.
stick your finger in there
and then figure out.
and just get it. Okay.
Definitely that one. We're gonna bring the first one for last
let's
because
see.
I would love
Okay, let's see. What we gonna do
us
here?
to do what we're gonna do.
What we got?
When you wrote that, were you thinking about the civil rights movement and Martin's speech?
Yes, definitely, because it was coming up on his birthday,
Yep.
and I was asked to do something, and that was one of the ones I did, about 3 or 4, and that was one that made it to the book.
Very good. I like that.
Okay.
I does.
Oh, this is one that I wrote to God, I think.
Okay.
No, let's see. Hold on.
He has now written a poem to God. Let's see how this goes.
Let's see.
And then we're gonna find out what he said.
There's many of them. There's so many of them. Listen, I was asking for help trying to figure out how to get out the hole.
See what I'm saying?
You know.
And you do that sometimes.
No, you have to write your, and then what I did when in writing That I Once Did Wrong, I didn't know that what I did, I forecast my future.
Mm-hmm.
When I wrote it in '93, and I didn't get straightened out and get the drugs off me until 2000.
2003.
But I didn't know at the time that 7 is the number of completion.
Yes, it is. That I do know.
Okay. And that's when somebody told me that it took you 7 years to figure out why you even wrote the daggone thing.
You know, it's interesting that you said that. Because I always know that 7 is the number of completion.
Yeah.
I've known that for years.
Let's see.
Yeah. When one writes, it's like, where am I going with this? How far have I gone with this? How far am I going to go with this? I always wondered that about poetry and a poet. How far how far is poetry taking you?
Well, the thing is, it can take you, it could be one sentence, it could be 2 sentences,
Right.
3 or 4. And I tried not to write like Shakespeare,
Oh, please don't.
because Shakespeare would take you endlessly.
You are not kidding. And endlessly.
I mean, it's like,
Do you think you can stop now?
yeah, and I'm saying, when I'm thinking, I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, it's just a little too much.
Yeah.
And I said,
I agree with you.
and then that was when I came up with the idea that there has to be a beginning, a middle,
and an end.
And then
Thank
that's
you.
it. That's it. So
Thank you.
that's where I went with that.
I hear that.
All right, let's see.
Definitely hear you.
Let's see what we can find here.
Just pick one.
Oh,
Like you told me, stick your finger in the middle.
Okay, all right. Juneteenth.
Oh, and that's coming up. Yes, let's do Juneteenth.
Okay. The chains have been broken. Beyond the underground rail, behind, there's a teardrop trail leading us to this here park to show our ancestors the dreams set sail. Atop of our ancestors' bones, we continue to forever stand. When by yourself, you're not alone, because we didn't get here on our own. We are the dream, the hope, and the wish that God gave our ancestors to give to us. Celebrating Juneteenth is a must. This is something we have to trust. The gospel truth came by the spoken word. 2 years past late, the chains have been broken. From then to right now, we've got to keep on living. Truth is, I'm not joking. I'm sure you've heard our ancestors saying, the chains have been broken.
There you go.
That was for Juneteenth.
I like that. I like that.
And did you hear from then to now?
Yes.
That's why I like smiled, because I thought of what I said, and it's in there.
See?
And you'll see it somewhere else along the way, probably.
Well, It's been an amazing afternoon.
Well, thank you. It definitely has.
And I am so excited that you made it. We tried this 3 times, you know.
Yeah, but you're worthy. See, if you wasn't worthy, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I am so glad that I am worthy to
You are
be here, for
worthy.
you to be here.
See, I don't do things like, like some people do. Like, I give it thought, like, and then if time permits, and
Yeah, I know.
for some reason or another, you was just like, I'm supposed to be here. So that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Give me a minute poem.
A minute poem.
Give me a minute poem.
We've got to trust. Red rum, pain stuck to hearts like hot day shoes of gum, wasn't what the church choir had to hum. Hopes and prayers touch his ears to hear sounds of a mother's tears. Lights went out on lost hope for years, stormy clouds, not rain, but tears. Tears dropped, raincoat, murder, she wrote, family and friends spoke, holding back pain near stroke. Pain doesn't just dissolve, a scream is heard. Police said not a word, didn't say make go unsolved. Pain doesn't just dissolve. Can't you and you see this isn't the way for us to be? Lost loved ones we'll never again see. God gave a book, open eyes to see. Helps here for the world, why can't we see? Death to life, death offers life one you can't do twice. Unexpected no-show at the end of life's rainbow. What you thought, you didn't know? Said bang, bang, clang, clang, tears dropped, church choir sang and sang. Had to hum, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. This child's memory forever belongs to us, and God we've got to trust.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Community, losing our children.
Yes, absolutely.
Losing our children. And I always say, when is it going to stop? But you've been with me, Mr. Larry Duce Cobb, and I am so thankful that you were with me today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, my audience. I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and thank you for being with me today on Artists of Color with my guest, Larry Duce Cobb.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.